Hey everybody, I'm Vinny Piana. So I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, but I couldn't think of how to start it. The video is called The Most Beautiful 2 Minutes of Music. But this 2 minutes of music actually happens 34 minutes into a 64-minute improvisation. I want to just say this right now. I promise you, if you sit through my little introduction, it'll be completely worth it when you hear this. This particular piece is off a record, and it was recorded on May 20th, 1973, and this is the record. Keith Jarrett Solar Concerts, Bremen, Lausanne. And if you open up the album here, you see a really cool picture of Keith Jarrett from 1973, young Keith Jarrett. Most people know Keith Jarrett as one of the greatest improvisers of the 20th and 21st century. His music spans modern jazz music, Western classical music, to gospel music, blues, and everything in between. Here's the insert. I've looked at this record my whole life, just about. Another record that came out in 1973. And then, when I get a little further into it, there's a little message from Keith. He says, "It's quite popular among artists to justify their art by the expression, 'it speaks for itself,' or 'I don't have any words for it.' It is less popular but effective for an artist to over-explain and in effect justify his art in an overabundance of words. I don't care to do either, although I tended towards the first of these in the past. I merely want to amplify the meaning of the music on this album in words. The meaning for me is the truth involved in this. One artist creating spontaneously something which is governed by the atmosphere, the audience, the place, both the room and geographical location, the instrument, all of these being channeled consciously through the artist so that everyone's efforts are equally rewarded, although the successes or failure belong completely to the artist himself. The artist is responsible for every second." These 2 minutes of music are actually on one side of these three LPs. It says 12 minutes and 34 seconds on here, but if you look at it on Spotify, it's part of a 64-minute piece, all combined. So the chances of stumbling on these 2 minutes when it's 34 minutes into the piece is just about impossible. But I'm going to play it for you right now. Second voice. That was improvised. That is absolutely astounding. That takes me to another place that I can't even describe. I can't even fathom how beautiful that is. It sounds like Bach, but modern. When I say modern, this is, almost 50 years ago, 1973. Now, one thing to know about Keith Jarrett, other than he's one of the most famous improvisers of the 20th century, is that about a year ago or so, there was an article in the New York Times, and it says, Keith Jarrett confronts A Future Without the Piano. It says the path-breaking musician reveals the health issues that make it unlikely he will ever perform again in public. Keith had a series of 2 strokes in 2018 and has lost the use of his left hand and will probably never perform again. But we have these recordings of Keith, and there are so many recordings of Keith Jarrett that you can spend a lifetime listening to them, which I pretty much have done. I've listened to all of his recordings. But this particular 2 minutes, to me, is one of the most astounding 2 minutes. I'm going to play it again because I just love it so much. Right here. Beautiful. Oh. Second voice. It brings in third voice. Right here. Then goes into gospel. And then, as if that wasn't enough, one more round. Right here. Flow. Oh. You know, I was interviewing Vinny Piana, old friend of mine and one of the most incredibly gifted drummers. And I said to him, my first question was, Vinny, talk about flow. And he said, thought is the enemy of flow. And that was one of the most profound things that I ever had heard. And Vinny improvised it on the spot. Thought is the enemy of flow. Keith Jarrett is flowing here. When I say flowing, he's channeling the music through him and through his hands and out into the universe or onto this recording. Now, I really wouldn't be doing my job here if I didn't try to educate you a little bit into what Keith is doing here. I'm just going to quickly analyze this opening melodic development that he has, where he's going, what keys he's moving to, because he's using a lot of sophisticated concepts like upward modulations. Let's check it out. And then, so it's B major, almost like a B major, B flat major 6, then, and then, so you've got D minor. The modulations begin here, so it goes. This implies F major, which is the 5 chord in B flat, so. And then that E flat in there implies F7, and then, okay, so that's like a B flat major add 9, and then gives you B flat 7, and then E flat major, and then here's our transition to C major. There's our upward modulation when we hear that E flat move up to E. That's what makes it so beautiful. So we've heard this, and then eventually it goes there on the next phrase. Many people know Keith Jarrett as a jazz pianist, but one of my favorite Keith Jarrett records is called Spirits, and it's from 1986. He plays everything on this record. It's just all him, playing all different sorts of instruments, and he recorded it, I believe, with 2 cassette players. But Spirits 20 is one of my favorites. I'm going to play you the beginning of it because it's absolutely beautiful. He's playing the soprano saxophone, the piano, like a Pakistani flute. He's playing everything in this. It's just him overdubbing and improvising. Flow. Listen to this. It's a soprano saxophone. Oh. Then. What a tone. Right here. Oh, man. Then. That blows my mind, too. I mean, the guy can play soprano saxophone and play piano like that and can play all these other instruments, and he's improvising all this. I'm sure he just played the piano part down, improvised it, and then just started overdubbing on it. He's just playing by ear. Those beautiful melodies on the soprano saxophone are just improvisations by ear. Now, he has tremendous knowledge of music. It's not that he doesn't know what he's playing. He knows exactly what he's playing. Keith Jarrett has perfect pitch, right? He can hear all those chords. He knows exactly what chords are being played at the time, so he knows what these notes fit over them. But the melodic direction of these things is just incredible. I'll go as far as to say, if you don't know Keith Jarrett's music, you don't really know music. You especially don't know music of the 20th century. He started with Art Blakey. He played with Miles Davis. He played with Charles Lloyd. But then he went out on his own and has so many records. Orchestral music, classical music, jazz trios, solo piano records. There's just more Keith Jarrett than you can ever imagine. Check out the record Belonging. Check out the record Facing You. Check out Standards Volume 1. Listen to Spirits. Luminescence, The Clone Concert, Dark Intervals, The Celestial Hawk, My Song, The Sun Bear Concerts, Spheres, Book of Ways. These are all absolutely brilliant records. That's my video that's dedicated to Keith Jarrett. I don't know what else to say about him, but he is a person to be known, and he's one of the most important people that is still alive today. One of the most important musicians, and you should know about him if you don't. Thanks so much for watching. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment. Check out my new Quick Lessons Pro guitar course that just came out. Also, the Beato book, if you want to learn about music theory, that's how you do it. And check out my Beato ear training course at beatoeartraining.com. And don't forget, if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. Thanks so much for watching.